Some years back, devoted Drury Outdoors teammate Dave Reisner took a one-day visit to Iowa to link up with John Odell and search for a whitetail timber toad. Will these good buddies make yet another memory in the deer woods? Let's find out. I'm Taylor Drury, and this is a Throwback Thursday edition of DoD TV.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
It's late October. John's arrived from Seattle, and we're going to go join the Drury camp here this weekend in Missouri. But we're going to sneak out one time in the same spot where I killed my biggest deer ever. It might be too early, but we're going to give her a try. It wasn't the right wind conditions, and he had coaxed me all day long to hunt this one set that is kind of one of our favorite stands. I was willing to go in there on the wrong wind. As John said, we'll get all scent blockered up and, you know, from head to foot, and we'll be basically, he said, invisible to their nose. I had a little surprise here today, I guess. I didn't know the corn was taken out, and it has to be pretty fresh because I was here not more than 4 days ago, and the corn was all still standing, and it's gone now. That's awesome. I'm really excited now for tonight. It'd be awesome to harvest a deer and have a good story to tell the Druries at camp this weekend and everybody. In late October, it can be decent, but I have nice spots that I like to hunt the first couple weeks of October, and then I leave them alone until like the beginning of November. Now I know some people, they love that last weekend, that Halloween weekend in October. They say they start seeing a lot of action. I typically don't go into my better spots to even check out to see if there's action going, so I could be missing stuff. What we're hunting today is a skinny pinch. Behind me, right here, no more than 55 yards is a cornfield, and right next to the edge, about the first 30 yards, is a biologic that I planted. And you can see that there's a CRP right over here. So that's about another 60 yards that way. So we're right, anything's gonna cross through this timber, it has to almost come through here, unless it's gonna head out in the open. Good spot. Excited for tonight.
What I like to do in late October is really try to identify what pattern the deer are on. Typically in that time of year, it's still bed to feed, and so what I'll do is I'll try to identify known bedding areas, identify the food source that they're utilizing from that bedding area, and set up my stand placement accordingly.
Well, we were only in, probably an hour and 15 minutes, and we saw that first buck. That's a nice buck, John. I don't think that's 2.5. No. He's a lot bigger.
This deer, I could tell that he was mature, maybe 4.5 years old. He's a nice 10-pointer. Kind of skirted our location. Dave grunted at him a few times, but he just didn't quite come in.
Looked like a 10-point. You can see his tail standing up, and so he was definitely interested in the grunt call. He just never closed the distance. What a close call. I thought we were gonna get lucky tonight. Well, he slipped past us, that first buck did, and you're thinking, well, there goes my buck for the evening. That's about the end of it. But it wasn't more than 20 minutes, and here comes another buck. That deer coming in. Hear that?
So he works his way in, but he just kind of kept feeding around a little circle. And my job as a cameraman is to make sure I'm laying down as clear and as good a footage as I possibly can. Well, this deer's not making it easy on me. He's walking around in some really thick stuff, and that makes it tough as a cameraman to make sure you're in focus and you're not just be a little bit out of focus. So I was doing my best to lay it down right. I was doing the best I could to make sure Dave had a good hunt.
He kept browsing and browsing and browsing, and I thought he'd never come out of that thicket.
Well, finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the deer started to move to our right. So I zoom out, I get the deer in focus. He's walking out on this perfect wide open logging road, and I know it's going to happen right now.
You know, when I saw that arrow tracking and tracing towards him, and it looked good, it looked good, it looked good. And at the last minute, he kind of ducked, and my arrow just landed right behind his shoulder. It was like perfect.
You know, that was a pretty lengthy shot. It was at least 40 yards, but you know, Dave practiced all year, and he felt confident in the shot, and he made just a perfect shot.
Can you believe this? It is 4:58, the 23rd of October, and you see a shooter like that on his feet, and he is directly downwind. He is absolutely 100% downwind, and I'll prove that. Look at this. Wind is going right there, right where I shot. Thank God for scent blocker suits. He is one dead goose. I hit him perfect. Yeah.
I knew that arrow found its mark, and that I was a successful bow hunter that evening. I knew the last thing we needed to do was just go find him.
Well, I was pretty excited for Dave. What an awesome thrill to come all the way from Iowa, have one day to hunt before we have to come down to North Missouri for dream season, and to have Dave make such a perfect shot. I was thrilled.
Look at this group. Wow.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the brain of a whitetail buck that gets him up and on the move? Well, we've cracked that code and are delivering it to you in the DeerCast app, a revolution in deer movement forecasting. Available now for iOS and Android. Get ahead of your game with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by MOTV. For full episodes of Dream Season and all of our Outdoor Channel content, head over to the MOTV app and view it today.